We want to start tonight with one of the professors who has been singled out by the list. Dr. Arthur Kaplan is with the Global Institute for Public Health at NYU. Dr. Kaplan, welcome. Good to have you here tonight.
Thanks for having me, Martha.
So how do you think you ended up on that list?
Well, I was tough on Trump during the campaign. Wrote a long time back, maybe a year and a half ago, that he was making me nervous about his talk about immigrants bringing in diseases, about his making fun of people with disability, about mocking women. He was getting out of control, and I said, look, this is getting close to kind of Hitlerite flag waving around. And there were a lot of alt-right groups and white supremacist groups, David Duke and so on, coming out and saying, yeah, go for it. So I was tough on him, and I think appropriately so. Proud of it. I think he's toned it down a bit.
Let me just read one of your tweets. All Trump is missing are brown shirts. He has all the rest. Dismiss him as a buffoon or a joke at the nation's peril. You also said the greatest danger is a man willing to use racism to gain political support to get elected, that shapes his policy on poverty, immigration, and so forth. But you've said yourself that it's very dangerous to make Hitler comparisons, to compare anyone to someone who exterminated 6 million Jews and had 11 million people in camps. So why would you do that?
Because when you start using racism, which he was, and when you start basically pointing the finger at immigrants as dangers to the public health, bringing in disease, you're starting to move down that road. It's not that the metaphor is ever inappropriate, but look, the real point here is debate it. Don't make up lists of
Well, that's
things.
exactly my point, sir.
You know,
but here's the problem on college campuses right now. If you stick up for Donald Trump on a college campus, you are ostracized. There are campuses that are very prestigious in this country, where if you even show support for Donald Trump, your professors will basically shout you out of the room and shout you down as being unworthy to be in that room.
And I think it's completely wrong. In my class, you mimic back what I have to say, you're going to flunk. I want to hear arguments. I want to hear debate. I want to hear people engage ideas. I'm not worried about Donald Trump being able to defend himself or his allies or partisans, and I'm certainly not worried about making an argument. And that's what I would say to the kids who made up this kind of goofy list. So do you feel that at NYU on campus that there is a voice for people who are supportive of Donald Trump, and that overall the educators that you work with are open to having an honest, open debate in the classroom, and that students who support Donald Trump will not be ostracized? Is that true at NYU? Certainly welcome in my classroom. I can't speak for all the others. I haven't been in them. But in my classroom, I want to hear all points of view. And look, the point of teaching is to teach students how to engage in a debate. Don't make up lists, fight, argue, make an argument.
But how does it affect them when they hear their teacher say things like you have said in your tweets? I mean, they're not going to feel like that's an open environment where they can come in and speak their mind.
Why not? Sure it is. And in fact, you can engage it just like you are and say, isn't that a little extreme? Or what do you see as a parallel to the rise of Nazism and Hitler? Why is that? I've written a lot of books about the rise of Nazism and Hitler, and I know the signs, and I think I can get into them, but I don't care if someone wants to engage it or disagree with it.
I mean, you have somebody who won the election.
The classroom is to say you're welcome.
But you have somebody who won the election quite handily, actually, and you have people who support him. So when you say these sorts of things about him, you're also, in essence, saying them about the people who support him as well. And they don't feel that is a fair reflection on them, do you?
Not all, but sometimes. Certainly some of those sites I see of the alt-right or of the white power people, yeah, I see where they're coming from, and I worry about it. At the same time, let me come back again. The proper response is not to make up 1950s watch lists. It's to get into an argument, have a debate. What are we dealing with? Students who are snowflakes?
Yeah, but that's exactly the problem, Professor, is that, and I've heard this firsthand from students at campuses at very prestigious schools, if you so much as open your mouth that you supported Donald Trump, you are pretty much shouted down at the council table. But I'm going to take you at your word that you are open to that kind of debate on your campus.
When that happens, trust me, I'll be there for that debate, and I'll defend those students.
That's why these people are being listed, because people want them to be aware of the fact that this exists. Dr. Kaplan, thank you. I got to give the other side a chance here, but thank you for being with us tonight. Also with us tonight, the National Field Director of the conservative group that publishes the Professor Watch List, Crystal Clanton of Turning Point USA. Crystal, welcome. Good to have you here tonight. So you heard what the professor said. He feels that it's sort of a McCarthyism ploy to put these people all on a watch list, and I looked at your website, and point the finger at them. Why do you think he's wrong?
Well, the people who say these are McCarthy-era tactics, what I say back to that is the consumers of education, the students and the parents who are paying for this deserve to know what they're getting. And we're not calling for any action. We're not saying on our website these professors should be fired or have any be reprimanded for what they're doing. We're just saying people deserve to know what's happening. And this is journalism. I agree with Rush Limbaugh. It's an act of free speech for us to publish this.
Do you think that freedom of speech is alive and well on college campuses today?
Absolutely not, because of what you just talked about. If students speak out against their professors who are in positions of power, they can be in trouble for that. They will get lower scores on their exams and things like that, and they're afraid to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard kids say, if I ever wrote that in a paper, I would get a C or lower.
We hear that all the time.
It's unbelievable. I mean, you know, education is by virtue of the word and the definition of it, to hear both sides of the equation. I mean, how do you think, I mean, obviously you think by doing what you're doing is one of the steps to push back and to get us back to a place where we have lively debate on our college campuses, right?
Exactly. And our organization, Turning Point USA, by putting this together, we want to show students that we don't think the things that happen here are right. We're not saying what students should do about that. We're just saying they deserve to know, but we agree it's not okay.
Crystal Clanton, interesting to talk to you. Thank you very much. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Quick break.